All right, so let's start with this guitar I'm playing. This is a reissue of the famous El Trovador, of which they made about 500 or 600, I guess, back in 1932 and 33 when plywood was the latest thing. They bragged about this in the old literature as being 10-ply mahogany. But this is the guitar I favor now. This is actually my own guitar, and it's fitted with a Hotplate. That's an amplification system that's all contained on the cover plate itself. It's got a place to plug in, it's got a tone control and a volume, and it's got a real nice custom pickup by Lawler. So it's got a very nice sound. I've just got one by itself here so you can get a look at it. You'll notice this one has the hand rest on, but my personal preference is, since I do a lot of muting with my right hand, is to take the hand rest or the hand strap off the guitar, but if I'm traveling, if I'm flying, I'll just screw it right back on to protect the cone. So that's the way I use the guitar. This is something, this kind of amplification system is something I've been using for the last 15 years. I had a very rough, very bluesy looking Hotplate on my old National Style O. But it wasn't until I presented it to the folks here at National that it really got refined. And Jason and Eric and the whole crew have got this thing just looking and sounding great now. I get a lot of inquiries at home with people who are interested in buying this. You can get it from either the National factory or dealers or from me at MikeDowling.com. So I'm glad to be talking about it today to maybe answer a few questions that you might have about it. I think the next thing we'll do, now that you've seen it and heard it described, is I'm just going to play some things so you can get an idea of how it sounds. So I'm going to plug the Hotplate in. What I do is use a right angle cord. This one happens to have a little off and on switch on it. I think it's made by Planet Waves. But in any case, it's a little less obtrusive than the straight in jack. So I'll plug it in. The nice thing about the Hotplate, I should mention, is that I could take this plate off this guitar, put it on another El Trovador, put it on a Style O or any other Singlecone National guitar, an old one, or a contemporary model, and not have to alter anything about the guitar. There's no drilling of holes or anything like that. So it's pretty versatile that way. Anyway, I've got it plugged in now. I'll turn it on. I'll stop talking and I'll play a little bit. You'll be able to hear the sound of the amp, the Fender amp, and then we'll compare it with just the sound through the microphone of the guitar, so you'll have a little reference. So here we go. So here's the sound of the guitar, just acoustically. I'll add the pickup with as much high end as I want. The way I like to use this rig is to combine it with the sound of the microphone. In other words, to be running the Hotplate through either a PA or an amp. I prefer a tube amp, like Fender tube amp. Run the Hotplate through that, and then combine it with a microphone in the vicinity, just an SM57 or something like that. Then I get a little bit more of the natural sound of the cone and the guitar, in addition to the warmed up sound of the Hotplate. And the Hotplate still has the guitar sounding pretty much like what it is, whether it's a wood body guitar or a metal guitar, like a Reso-Rocket. That's another guitar that I've been playing. All right, so let's get reset for a second and I'll show you the sort of blend that I like. All right, so here's a little demonstration of the blend of the microphone and the hot plate. So I've got a microphone right down here in the vicinity. So if I'm on stage, I'm listening to that microphone. It's picking up the guitar, and then I'll begin to add some of the hot plate, just so it warms it up a little bit. And I'm not going to depend on the hot plate for all of my sound, although I could if I wanted to. Now I'll add the hot plate in. You can hear it warm up a little. And that's the way in a concert on stage that I like to use the hot plate to reinforce the sound of the microphone. And I think it makes for a very pleasing sort of blend.